With that, I would be happy to answer any questions, or I'd be happy to just share with you some of the ideas that we thought, because what we're talking about is a $750,000 budget, which Father, you heard him say earlier, I drill him on the numbers. He'll say 700, 800. I go, Father, that's not good enough. Give me a number. He says, okay, 750. But I've taken and done a design around 550, because I know that you always are going to have things that have to be, you want to buy some furniture, you know, buy a new ambo, you're going to do some things with a baptismal font. There's always these things that come into play and people forget about. So we have in front of you, we have budgeted a project that's about $550,000 in construction hard costs. And I know the drawings well enough. The one on your left is a site plan, and it shows that this church is right where it is today. It's located right where it is today, but you'll notice a subtle difference. There's a new sanctuary area, and the new sanctuary area is built on the south. We are in effect turning around the church and building an addition out to the south, which will be the new sanctuary area. You can subtly see that on that site plan. If you go to the second plan from your left, the second from the left, that shows you the floor plan. Now you can see that sanctuary area. And this would be the back of the church. And out here where these offices are, they would be removed, and that would be a large gathering space. And there would be a new vestibule built to the back of the church. And that's where you would enter the church from that parking zone or this parking zone. And we have our 3 devotional, Marian devotional areas back there. Years ago when we started talking about the church, we said we wanted 3 devotional areas for Mary. We wanted Our Lady Guadalupe, the Blessed Mary, and we also wanted the Black Madonna. So we've got those shown in the back because that was something sacred. We've got movable seating in the back. So we've increased the seating because of the new sanctuary area. We've increased the seating by about 80 to 100, depending on whether you're my size or somebody that's in better shape than me. But we've increased the seating by 80 to 100. But we would raise the top of the roof, bring sun in, have a tower, so to speak, make it look much more like a church. We would reuse all these pews. We would just take them out. We would redo them, refinish them. We did this at my church, and it worked out marvelously. They're good pews. We had to redo the kneelers. But the pews themselves were structurally intact, and we reused them. We turned them. We redo the floor. We do carpet probably in the aisles or whatever you decide. And it really, really would be essentially a new church in this location for a very modest price, and a price that we would make sure has to come in on budget. So there's a great story here going on at St. Gabriel right now. And I'm proud to be here to be a part of it with you. I'm proud that Father asked for my assistance down at the Archdiocese, and I'm proud that you're having this opportunity to make these choices. So with that, I'll just...
Well, quite frankly, energy is going to be a big...
It's huge. It's huge. Well, the one thing is the 2 renderings that are further to your right, the first one, I believe, has that beautiful ductwork on top of the vestibule areas. You can see over here to the right. So you've had some inefficient systems here for quite some time, and a lot of people that have worked really hard to make these things work. We would do an assessment of it. We will certainly, anything we do in the church will be energy efficient. Would we do geothermal? I don't know if you have the money to do that. But we would certainly look at all the different systems, especially if you're using your rooms different. If it's not going to be compartmentalized classrooms, we may be able to do something a little more energy efficient. But that needs to be looked at, because as long as I've been coming out here for 10 years, it's been an issue.
You want to turn around what we're at right now?
Well, if you look at the design there, I'll spend some time up here with you afterwards and we can talk through it. This is, as Father said, as a concept, although, you know, and I wish I could say I did all those drawings. I didn't. I have a team of people that does those. And the renderings, I don't know how they do them. I mean, whoever's car was in back of the church yesterday, that's your car. So they photograph them and they dub them in, and it's just amazing how they do that. But what I guess what we've done with this is we've tried to let it be what it is. I had a professor in college one time, and he said, you know, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and it looks like a duck, it's probably a duck. So let it be a duck. And don't try to make it something else. And I think that given the architecture of the buildings out here and the sandstone, I think it would be smart of us, and giving our budget, to respect what's here and to not try to do something that's completely out of the character of this building architecturally that would, A, cost us a lot more money more than likely, and B, probably be inappropriate for the final design, because we just don't have enough money to totally transform it, so let's just make it better.
I don't have no problem with what we got right now, Dave.
And that one drawing, the one on the third one from your left, is a little deceiving, because it looks like the front of the church is asymmetrical. And what you don't see, the part that you'd see the little entry area that's on the left-hand side of the front entry, you'd have that same on the right. So it'd be a very symmetrical drawing. You just don't see it from that angle perspective.
I'm sure it is, but is everything going to be handicap accessible and
Absolutely.
compliant with ADA?
Absolutely. That's required by the Archdiocese.
Will we be doing anything to the school part of the building?
We tried, originally, if you remember, we had an elevator located out here, so we'll have to look at that again to see if we can do that, if we can afford it. But yeah, that would be, we got the perfect spot to do it, we just need to do it. Yes.
Then the monies for that reconstruction, I have two questions really. The monies for that would be coming out of the capital fund,
That's correct.
with a limit of half of 750,000?
Well, that's what we're budgeting around, is 750,000. And the nice part of this is that because of the debt reduction plan the fathers worked out with the Archdiocese, they're going to release you to go with your new construction right away. And that, again, it's a great coup. I mean, that you're being allowed to do this, if that's what you decide to do. You could still do the debt reduction and not start this now. If you'd say, well, let's do the debt reduction and let's be a little frugal, let's get through this St. Michael thing, you know, let's figure out what's going on, and maybe springtime, let's start. I don't see the harm in that, but I think Father's point early on was that at some point to revitalize, to get life going, you really need to do something like this. You probably either at times use St. Michael's or maybe downstairs makeshift. When we redid our church at Immaculate Heart of Mary, which we did much like yours, we kept the same church structure, we just redid everything in it. And we were out, I think, almost 6 months, and we had Mass in our gymnasium. And it was very compromised. There's no question about it. But it was a growing time for our parish too, because it, you know, was an exciting time. We knew it wasn't, we were down there because our church burned down. We were down there because we were building new. So when we moved back into the church, it made it all that much more special.